Traveling to India was never just a casual decision. It was a pull, a whisper I had heard in my heart for years. As someone who has grown up surrounded by skyscrapers, neon signs, fast-paced mornings, and coffee-fueled meetings, I was craving something deeper, more soulful, something ancient that could ground my restless spirit. That something, I believed, was waiting for me in India. And I wasn't wrong. From the moment I stepped off the plane, the air felt different, not just in temperature or scent, but in energy. The colors, the chaos, the calm, it all hit me at once. I had read countless blogs and watched numerous videos, but nothing could prepare me for what India truly was. It's not just a place you visit, it's a place that visits you, transforms you, and becomes a part of you. This is the story of my unforgettable journey across India. The land of temples and tuk-tuks, spices and spirituality, contrasts and connections. A land that welcomed me, challenged me, changed me. Landing in New Delhi was both exhilarating and overwhelming. The air was thick with history, dust, and stories. I could hear horns, vendors shouting, birds flying, and somewhere in the distance, a temple bell ringing. It was like being thrown into a movie with no script, and I loved every second of it. The roads were madness, organized chaos, as they call it. I laughed nervously in the back seat of my cab, watching families of 4 squeeze onto a single scooter, cows nonchalantly strolling through traffic, and children weaving through cars selling flowers and toys. It was a sensory overload, but it was also a reminder that life here was raw, unfiltered, and beautifully alive. I checked into a humble homestay near South Delhi. My host, an elderly woman with a warm smile and endless chai, welcomed me like a long-lost daughter. That was the first moment I felt the soul of India, hospitality that wasn't polished, but pure. Old Delhi was like stepping back in time. Rickshaws pushed through narrow lanes, spices perfumed the air, and every turn revealed centuries-old architecture. I walked through Chandni Chowk with awe, feeling like I had entered a living museum. I tasted jalebi hot off the pan, drank masala chai from clay cups, and explored the Red Fort while hearing echoes of Mughal emperors in my imagination. At Jama Masjid, I climbed the minaret and looked down at the city below. Despite the noise, there was a strange peace within me. I watched children flying kites on rooftops, vendors shouting over their merchandise, and tourists snapping pictures. Everything was alive and yet grounded in something timeless. From Delhi, I traveled to Varanasi, one of the oldest living cities in the world. The moment I arrived, I felt something shift inside me. There's something about Varanasi, something that can't be described, only felt. It's in the eyes of the sadhus, the chants echoing by the ghats, the boat rides on the Ganges at sunrise. I watched cremation ceremonies at Manikarnika Ghat, and instead of feeling fear or sadness, I felt peace. In the West, death is hidden. Here, it is embraced as a part of the cycle. That realization hit me deeply. I realized how much we fear endings instead of seeing them as transitions. Every morning, I sat by the Ganga and meditated as the sun rose. The energy of that river is indescribable. It feels like the past, present, and future converge in its waters. I wasn't religious, but here I found something that felt like prayer. Next, I ventured west into the deserts of Rajasthan. Jaipur, Jodhpur, and Jaisalmer were like stepping into a fairy tale. Majestic forts, colorful turbans, camels crossing sand dunes, and golden sunsets that made my heart ache. In Jaipur, I was enchanted by the pink-hued buildings and bustling bazaars. I bought bangles, tried Rajasthani thali, and got lost in the city palace. But it was in Jaisalmer that the magic truly happened. I spent a night under the stars in the Thar Desert. With no Wi-Fi, no city lights, and no sounds but the wind, I felt small in the best way possible. I laid on the sand, staring up at a sky so full of stars, I could barely breathe. That night, I wrote in my journal, "I think I'm starting to understand what freedom really feels like." Tired of the heat, I made my way north toward the Himalayas. Dharamshala and McLeodganj felt like a different world. Nestled among towering trees and snowy peaks, this region is home to the Tibetan community and the Dalai Lama. Here, life slowed down. I attended meditation classes, visited monasteries, and ate momos from street stalls. I met travelers from around the world who had come here to find themselves. I hiked through misty trails, sipped ginger tea while watching the clouds drift below me, and read books on philosophy and Buddhism. In the silence of the mountains, I met parts of myself I didn't know existed. I understood that peace wasn't something you stumbled upon. It was something you created inside yourself. After the cold of the mountains, I flew south to Goa for some sun and sand. It was a different India altogether. Laid back, vibrant, artistic. I stayed in a bamboo hut near the beach, woke up to the sound of waves, and practiced yoga every morning. In Goa, I danced under the stars, listened to live music, joined drum circles, and had deep conversations with strangers who felt like old friends. I tasted coconut curries, rode a scooter through palm-fringed roads, and learned how to just be. This was the part of the journey that reminded me that life is not always about chasing. It's also about receiving, resting, allowing. Took a train ride along the coast to Kerala, and it was like entering a painting. Lush green backwaters, slow-moving boats, and endless coconut trees. I stayed on a houseboat in Alappuzha, floating gently through canals as kingfishers flew by and locals waved from the banks. I visited spice plantations, attended a Kathakali dance performance, and got an Ayurvedic massage that felt like it rewired my nervous system. Kerala was healing in every sense, through its food, its people, its rhythm. The people here spoke softly, smiled often, and lived in sync with nature. It made me realize how noisy my mind had been for years. India didn't just show me temples, palaces, beaches, and mountains, it showed me myself. It stripped away my layers of overthinking, control, and constant striving. It taught me patience through delayed trains, surrender through missed plans, and presence through overwhelming beauty. I learned that comfort zones are illusions, that joy can be found in the smallest things, a plate of samosa, a stranger's kindness, a sunset shared in silence. That peace isn't found in luxury, but in authenticity. I came here expecting to witness a culture, but instead I witnessed humanity. Raw, emotional, chaotic, divine. India is not just a country, it's an experience. And once you've lived it, you'll never be the same. As my journey came to an end, I stood at the airport with my backpack slightly heavier and my heart significantly fuller. I looked around at the farewell smiles, the folded hands, the final namaste from a passerby, and I knew a part of me was staying behind. India wasn't a trip, it was a transformation. And even though I was going back home, I knew that I would carry this land with me in everything I do. To anyone out there wondering whether to take the leap, do it. Come to India. Not to escape your world, but to find a new one within yourself. Because sometimes, in the most unexpected places, you don't just travel, you awaken. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful journey through India. If you're learning English, I hope my story helped you improve your vocabulary, listening skills, and understanding of storytelling in English. Here are a few things you can do next to keep learning. Repeat and shadow. Listen to parts of this video again and try repeating after me to improve your pronunciation. Write a short summary. Try writing your own version of this journey using the new words you learned today. Comment below. Tell me which part of India you'd love to visit and write your answer in English. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life English stories, travel experiences, and learning tips every week. Let's grow together, one word at a time. See you in the next video. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep speaking English.